old. Wow. And they're the holiest. We sing songs together just like we're doing right now. And they knew. I think these need to be plugged in. They knew the Rachel knew the Munkatcher Rebbe back in the old country. And I want to play you something I took just a few weeks ago. So every Sunday I go, and you're welcome to come with me. And a few weeks ago she was telling me about the Munkatcher Rebbe. And the story that she's going to tell is that first she tells the story of her father and how he knew the Munkatcher Rebbe. He would come and he would check to make sure that the wheat was dry. She tells the story. Her father would always go for a Pesach. And so she was born around 1927, so she would have been around 9 years old, and the Munkatcher Rebbe left the world at 1935. So we have a direct line to the Munkatcher Rebbe. She's going to tell the story of when she became, so she was in Auschwitz, and her husband here was in Auschwitz. They were both in Auschwitz. And the reason she's alive today is because of the son of the Munkatcher Rebbe that we're going to talk about. She was really sick, and she was skin and bones, and she had a virus, and she thought she was on her way out. And she went to the son of the Munkatcher Rebbe, and she said, "Can you please give me a bracha that I should get better?" And the Munkatcher Rebbe looked at her and said, "Are you a Bas Cohen?" And she said, "Yes." And he says, "I don't need to give you a bracha. The problem is you're not giving the world a bracha. You need to go out and give the world brachas." And so he sent her on a mission that she should go all over the world and give brachas. And so when you go over to her house, she'll give you a bracha. And it's a bracha straight from the Munkatcher Rebbe. So here she is. Let's see if we can hear her telling the story. That's from Czechoslovakia, but it became Hungary after the war.
Yeah. But the Munkatcher Rebbe,
we had fear, we had schoof, chicken, gens,
my father had horses,
and
and fields, farms, and ducks.
He used to go to the Munkatcher Rebbe, and sometimes, I don't know, yes, also, they say hummus.
Yes.
Hummus. What is the hummus? The same whites, the same wheat, everything. Or the religious people, you have to take off the wheat before the rain comes.
It has to be dry.
They shouldn't get wet. They shouldn't oil.
Yeah.
And this was the base of the flour.
Is the Munkatcher verklemmen weiß von einer Tasse? The Munkatcher.
No, ich bin Englisch, muss ich erzählen. Ich bin in Leben.
Welke jaar zijn die geboren geworden? In welke jaar?
Ich bin gewesen 14, wenn ich bin weg auf Auschwitz.
Is welke jaar zijn die geboren geworden? Is 20 jaar?
29.
29.
Okay, so tell them the story about how you got permission, you got blessed to give a Cohen bracha.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that's the Munkatcher rabbi.
Yeah.
He moved to Israel.
Yes.
And I don't know, this was his son or son-in-law, probably the son. And he used to come to my niece and stay with her. And then people came to him, or some people he went to the house, to the people. And I went to him, and I told him about my father, and he knows his father. And so I went to ask about my sister, which we survived together, and other things. When he finished, and then ask about myself, about the health, because I was sick almost a year on the nurse. I just was skin and bone. They just turned me and I just asked Hashem. I had one child. If I had survived with the Germans, I should survive now. Especially I have a kid. So he said open any place, the book. I opened, he looked, and he looked at me. He says, you don't have any virus. Die letzten, die ostlichen virus. And I know you, and I'm a Holocaust survivor, and I've been a Koyan. And Esther came with me because he lived in the back and she had something simple when I was there. And she told me, here is the rabbi, the Munkatcher rabbis. And she called to the room and he said, okay, to go. And he don't have nobody. Her son-in-law was driving him around in the city. Then he looked at me and he said, he didn't have any virus, so and so, you can bench people because you went through so many things in your life. And with the Germans, a person here, a kid who never went away from the mama's skirt from the house. And so I should cry and ask Hashem to be healthy. So he said, you can bench people. And he says you are a survivor and a coin.
So that's the, so you should go over, anyone could come to me after and I'll bring you over there and you'll get a brucha straight from Rachel Zickerman, straight from the Munkatcher Rebbe. And now, we've been hearing a lot of stories, but like David said, Shlomo, he would just tell stories about the tzaddikim, and like Jeff said, that mostly you would hear stories about all, people would complain all the stories he would tell. But Shlomo would want us to tell all about the tzaddikim, so they shouldn't be forgotten. And so, Sam here? So I'm going to tell the story of the, when Doug said I should talk about politics.
Oh no.
So for the next year, we're going to be hearing a lot about immigration. And so everyone's wondering, what was Shlomo Carlebach's immigration policy? And so this story is about Shlomo Carlebach's immigration policy. It's called the Munkatcher Passport. And here's the story. You would start with this. Everybody knows Levi Yitzhak the holiest, the holy. He was so holy. The Chassid once came to the Levi Yitzhak and said to him, Holy Rebbe, I need to go to Lublin. It's very important, and I don't have a passport, because back in the old days, you didn't want the government to know your name. because then you could be conscripted into the army, and so you had to be lay low. And so he said to the Berditchever Rebbe, he said, please, can you give me a passport? And the Berditchever Rebbe said, of course, no problem. He walked into his study, and he comes out with a blank piece of paper. And he gives the chassid a blank piece of paper, and he said, here's your passport. Now, to go to the border with a blank piece of paper, you have to be a big chassid. And so he goes, he pulls out the blank piece of paper, and here's what the border person said. He starts saluting him. He says, I've never seen such a great person in my entire life. Wow, let me give you a carriage. We'll give you 8 horses. We'll escort you to Lublin ourselves. And he went, and he's Nebuch. He was so poor, he never even seen a carriage in his whole life. And he comes back, and he lives a very long life. So now I want to jump ahead to 1935. Now it's 1935. And Shlomo was told this story in Vienna, and about the Berditchever passport. And a man comes to him and says, I have to tell you a story, Shlomo, and that's how we have the story. And so he says, my uncle was, in 1935, he needed to go to Germany. He had a passport, but the type of passport he had is not the passport that you necessarily need to get out of Germany alive. So he goes to the Munkatcher Rebbe and he says, Rebbe, can you please help me to go to Germany and to come back alive? And the Munkatcher Rebbe, he said, yes, of course, certainly, I'll pray for you, I'll daven, you should have a safe trip. And that's all I can do. But my uncle said, no, Rebbe. He said, I'm so scared. Remember you told us the story of the Yitzhak Berditchev and the Chassid, and how he gave the Chassid the Berditchever passport. He said, please, Rebbe, please give me a Munkatcher passport. I have a wife and 7 children. Please, I'm so scared. I need a Munkatcher passport. And this is what the Rebbe said. He said maybe the Berditchever Rebbe was on such a level, maybe he could give such a passport, a blank page, but I'm not at such a level. And the Chassid looked at him and said, Rebbe, you are on such a level, I believe in you. Please, I'm so scared, please, I know you could do it. So the Rebbe goes into the room for 3 hours, he's in the room. And when the Rebbe comes out, he gives him a blank piece of paper, but the paper is wet with tears years, from 2,000 years of exile. And so he gives the chassid, he has long beard, payas, he gives them the passport, the blank page. And he takes it to Germany, to the border. And the Nazi soldier comes and screams, "Give me your passport." And the chassid pulls out the blank page. And the German Nazi soldier starts saluting him. He says, "Germany has never had the honor of greeting such an amazing person. Let me have the privilege right now. I'm going to write you a letter to go to all the German Nazi soldiers, and that they should know what a great person you are, and they'll take care of you, and they'll protect you on your journey." And so for a week he was in Germany. The Nazis paid for his hotel, took care of him. He came back, and everything was good. And the Munkatcher Rebbe told him, he said, "As long as I'm alive, don't tell anyone about the Munkatcher Passport." And so he came back and he told no one. 1936, the Munkatcher Rebbe left the world. But before he left the world, he said, "I see a great darkness coming into the world, and I don't want to be here to see it." And 1939, my uncle got very sick. It was a few days before the beginning of the war. And he said, "I could see my days on this earth are numbered. Please, I want my family to come up near me." And so the person telling Shlomo the story, he said that I was 7 years old, and we came in the room and we stood around my uncle. He said, "I think if I should be buried and leave the world, I should live long. Please, I have a Munkatcher Passport. Let me tell you the story about the Munkatcher Passport." And when I am buried, please swear to me that in my hand you will put the Munkatcher Passport. Because if this passport could open all the gates in this world, who knows how many gates it will open in the world to come. And so the chassid, he left this world, and then Shlomo says that you know that it's not only the nations that have borders. He said there's so many borders between us and God. There's so many borders between one human being and another person. There's so many borders between husband and wife, between parents and children. And what we need is a Munkatcher Passport. And he said that we learn on Shavuos, we learn the Torah, we daven Yom Kippur, but we need a passport. So on Simchas Torah, we take out the Torah, but we don't read it. It's the Munkatcher borders between father and son. There's no more borders between the Democrats and Republicans. No borders between rich and poor. And when a Chatan goes to his kala, he takes the veil, covers his bride-to-be. It's the Munkatcher Passport. And the bride goes around the Chatan 7 times. She says no words. It's the Munkatcher Passport. And everyone wants to know, where can you get such a passport? Where are the headquarters? It's Yerushalayim. You go to the holy wall, and it's just the wall. Just the wall. What's there? But then you pray at the wall, and all of a sudden, all the gates start to open. God is giving you the Munkatcher Passport. And when you go to a sefer, you pick up the Chumash, you pick up a Gemara, it starts on the second page. What happened to the first page? The first page is blank. Go try it yourself. Pick up a Gemara, the first page, there's nothing on it. It's the Munkatcher Passport. You need a passport to learn the Torah. Hashem is giving you the holy passport.